So basically, tonight we're having a conversation about ease versus dis-ease. And so a lot of my background is in the science of what makes us do what we do. I studied psychology, sociology, and anthropology because I really wanted to understand people and context from the three different lenses of me, myself, me in relation to other people, and me in relation to my culture, and how all of those things impact the way we interact with each other. And so what I've realized over time and in looking at these different situations is that, like me right now, you get put in a situation where you really don't feel comfortable. All of a sudden, you feel a sense of dis-ease. You go from feeling, oh, everything's fine, everything's great, I'm just one with my environment around me, to feeling a little dysregulated. Heart's beating a little fast. I don't seem to be able to talk properly. My lips got really tight and squishy. And I'm like, why am I acting like this? This is crazy. These are people I love and care about, right? This is a circle. This is women. But your limbic system doesn't necessarily recognize that, right? And so a lot of what comes up for us around the holiday seasons is interactions with people where you might feel judged, interactions with people that you don't necessarily share the same ideals with, the same viewpoints with, situations where you're being really pushed, where your feet are being held to the fire, where you've got 8 different things coming down the pike at you, where you're just like, wow, I've got so many things to do and I just don't even know how to deal with it. And you feel yourself getting tense and upset and feeling dysregulated, essentially. And so what we're looking at is how, in the midst of all of this, do we regain that sense of ease and find a way to tune into our nervous system to understand what's actually going on, and find a way to bring ourselves back into that sense of ease. And so essentially what happens is, when you feel like you're under attack, or you feel like you're being judged, or you're in a situation where you're starting to feel slightly uncomfortable, your limbic system doesn't necessarily recognize healthy versus unhealthy. It simply recognizes familiar versus unfamiliar, safe versus unsafe. And so when you're in a situation like this for me, where I'm surrounded by people I don't quite know, I feel fine to some degree from an intellectual level, but my limbic system is reading it as, this is unsafe, this is unfamiliar, I don't know the situation, I don't feel comfortable with this, I think you should leave right now. And so intellectually, I'm having a fabulous time and I'm really happy, but I can feel my heart start beating quickly. I can feel my face start flushing. And that's literally a physical reaction that's happening in my body, and it's taking over. And so part of starting to become regulated is actually tuning into and recognizing that that's happening to you and understanding what's happening. And so our brains developed from the back to the front. And so in the beginning, we started with our reptilian brain, so to speak, and everything developed forward to the frontal cortex. And essentially, when you look out into your area and your environment, you see your limbic system essentially is mapping your domain and assessing whether you're safe or you're not safe. And so as I'm sitting here, my limbic system is saying not safe, and it's sending a message which essentially runs across a superhighway, right? So your frontal cortex, that kind of rational brain, comes in later. It doesn't give you the information as quickly. And so unfortunately, what happens is when you're in a social situation where you're feeling anxiety, the message gets to your body really, really quickly to get ready to fight or to flee or to freeze. And unfortunately for me, a lot of times that's actually what happens is I freeze. And so you're sitting there and you're like, I don't even know what to say. And especially in social situations, when I go to a party, you know, I'll be sitting there and I won't even know what to do and I won't even know what to say. It's like I don't even know my name all of a sudden. And I think this is crazy. Like, how on earth is this even possible? And so part of the way we deal with that a lot of times is we self-soothe. So we find ways to make ourselves feel better. We have a glass of wine, or we eat something, or whatever it is, whatever your way is of self-soothing. But unfortunately, what that does is it creates a feedback loop. So I go to a party and I feel wildly uncomfortable, or I go to a social situation, or I come home and I've had a really, really rough day and I down a glass of wine because I know it's gonna bring my system down really, really quickly. But that'll create a feedback loop which reinforces needing the glass of wine. So now whenever I go into a social situation, I have a glass of wine, I feel okay and I'm able to function. But instead of learning how to regulate myself through the situation and to navigate it from a more healthful standpoint and reinforce that positive behavior versus a checking out self-soothing behavior. And so what was I going to go into now? So basically, so when we were growing up, we learned to regulate with our parents. So mostly our mothers. If you had a father who was your primary caregiver, you would learn through him. And so essentially we regulate in dyads. Baby gets fussy, mom holds you, mom nurtures you, mom teaches you how to calm down, and then you regulate together. Now, if you had a parent that didn't necessarily know how to regulate themselves, they couldn't teach you how to regulate. And so you end up with this situation where it's generational, right? Your parents can only teach you what they know. And so as you move through life, we don't necessarily equip our children with the ability to regulate through really big emotions. Instead of being with them when they're having a temper tantrum, we make them go and sit in the corner and be by themselves all alone with really big feelings and really big emotions, and instead of making space and making room for that. So as a child, instead of learning how to say, I'm really, really angry, and your mother saying, or your father saying, well, that's really normal. That's a really normal reaction to your brother wanting to poke your eyes out, to be really angry. You say, you're so bad for hitting him over the head. You go to your room and we're not going to talk about that again. I don't ever want to see you do that. We shame our children. And so we don't, all of us as a whole don't necessarily learn how to navigate the emotions. We're not taught how to regulate our systems. We're not taught how to see the information coming into us, to verbalize it, to recognize it, and to move through it. And so that impacts us as we become older, because you don't have a way of expressing what's actually happening for you in the moment. You're just feeling uncomfortable, or you're feeling overwhelmed. You know, one more thing just got added to your list, the computer disconnects, or your phone didn't get paid, or there's leaf blowers outside and you can't concentrate, and one more thing gets added to your list and you blow your top. Instead of learning to tune in and check in with your body, see that you are becoming dysregulated, you get into an argument with somebody, and there's something called the amygdala meltdown, which is you reach a point where something triggers you and your frontal cortex literally goes offline. And the way most of us deal with that situation is, so if you're at a party, so to speak, or you're in a line and you're trying to deal with something with somebody across the counter, and as the situation escalates, we try to talk our way through it. But if you recognize that you're dysregulated, that you're emotionally offline, that your limbic system is taken over, there's absolutely no way that you can rationalize your way through it. It's really important to take the time to step back from the situation, to take a breath, to one of the phrases they have is name it to tame it, right? And so you step back, you take a look at yourself and you say, oh, wow, okay, yeah, my heart's beating, I'm really, really angry. I need to take a breath now. There's somatic work you can do. Shauna's gonna work us through that. Lee is gonna teach us something that can really, really, really quickly help you recognize that your nervous system is activated and to bring it back down. Because in that process of bringing your nervous system back down, all of a sudden you take a deep breath and now you can think your way through it, right? And so, yeah, so one of the things that if you are experiencing an amygdala hijack, which is, so essentially you've been triggered. You see something, something's really, really upset you. You can't think rationally. One of the easiest and quickest ways to do something about that is to actually be incredibly physical. It's part of the reason why crying can help, especially if you cry very hard, because it's a physical release. And so one of the activities that I recommend doing is you can excuse yourself, even if you're at a house party or whatever, you can excuse yourself, go into a room, go into bathroom and lock the door, and just shake every little bit of your body as hard as you possibly can for 30 seconds. Do jumping jacks, run back and forth, do wind sprints. And what that does is it signals your nervous system that you're okay. Basically, that you outran the lion, that nothing is going to attack you and get you. You're going to be okay. Your nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system comes back online. It signals all of those cortisol, all of those stress hormones to shift out of your body and to start regulating again. And you'll feel really good quite quickly. It's amazing how fast it can turn you around. But yeah, so that's about it. You there,
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks so much, Laurena. That's awesome. And I'm just, oh, am I spotlight? Have I spotlighted myself? I'm not.
Oh,
hold on. Wait, I think
I'm pinned.
Are you pinned? Hold on, I'll remove spotlight. There we go. There we go. Okay. Lisa normally does the tech when we do calls. So
she's the IT goddess.
She is the IT goddess. So here I am doing it all. So thank you, Laurena. And to kind of take that, I guess what I'd like to do is the dysregulation that Laurena was talking about. I'm going to go through a couple different things that you can do that are so simple and can be done very quickly, but really shift where you're at. So the first one I wanted to introduce to you is called Hakalau, right? And this is, like I said, it's powerful and simple. It originates in Hawaii, and it's known as the waking meditation of the kahuna, or the shaman, or the wise man. And it's peripheral vision as opposed to focused or foveal vision. So most of the time, especially in what we do today, we spend a lot of time on our computers, on our phones, concentrating our focus. So we're in that foveal vision, right? And hakala, or peripheral vision, and if we break that word down, haka means to focus in and then spread out. And lao actually means to pay more attention to the actual peripheral information, right? So it's basically entering a state of deep trance while maintaining external awareness. It's also known as the learning state. So if you're trying to learn something new, and we will walk through and I'll teach you how to do this, but going into hakalau, because what it does is it connects both the conscious and the unconscious mind, right? And all learning takes place in the unconscious mind. So this is why this is a really powerful, we'll call it technique or tool to use, right? And while in hakalau, you can really release your negative emotions, those negative thoughts, anxiety, stress, right? In matter of seconds, right? It can also be used as a break state, right? So with what Laurena was talking about, and you're feeling almost paralyzed. And I use this, I do trauma work with my clients. And with this, you know, I can interrupt if they go into a traumatic response. This can be an interrupt of that traumatic. So what we're going to do is try it out. So if you want to follow along, and basically what you do is you want to pick a spot on the wall and where the ceiling and the wall meet. So you don't need to lift your head up, but you want to lift your eyes up and actually look at a spot on the wall there. And so it's almost like your eyes are going to bump up your eyebrows, but not so much that you're cutting off the top of your vision. And you want to stare at that spot as you look up and let your mind go loose. And as you do that, focus all your attention on that spot. And what you notice is in a matter of moments, your vision begins to spread out and you see your peripheral vision, and you want more than the central part. And you actually want to pay more attention to the peripheral as opposed to the central part of your vision. And it's almost like if you were to take your hands out to the side, like they were goalposts, you could see and wiggle your fingers. You could see, you know, your fingers there. And for some people that might feel a little uncomfortable, so you could move it in a little bit, but that's how far you want to be able to see on either side, right? And as you do that, notice the sounds in the room. Maybe notice the feeling of the fabric of your clothing, the chair that you're sitting on, right? Your feet on the floor. And take a few breaths. Notice your breath. Notice how it feels. Great. Stay in this state as long as you can. And what I recommend to people is try this 10 times a day, like as homework. Tomorrow, do Hakalau, or it's a hard name to remember, but peripheral vision 10 times. And especially if you catch yourself feeling stressed out, feeling agitated, right? Do this and notice how you feel. The objective really is to be in peripheral vision, ideally 95% of the day. So as you practice this, the objective is that you can still maintain eye contact, but that I can still see, like most martial arts masters, they are always aware of what's going on around them, right? They're aware of their periphery because they know, they want to see where people are coming from. And so this is really something that if you master in your life, you will be accessing the conscious and the unconscious mind in that learning state, and also seeing what literally is coming toward you more often, because we go through life kind of like this most of the time, well, especially when we get stressed. So this is why I love this technique, because it's simple, right? You can do it so quickly and easily. You can do it anywhere. And like I said, you can use it as a break state. So literally, if you're really feeling stressed, you can look up and imagine seeing your phone number, for example. Oh, and someone's asking how to spell Hakalau. So it's Hakalau. Hakalau. Yeah. And the haka is the focus in and spread out, and the lao is to pay attention to the peripheral information. And so the other thing you can do to kind of break your state if you're really feeling anxious, stressed, is when you first look up, you can imagine seeing your phone number in lights as you look up towards the ceiling, and read the last four numbers of your phone number backwards, right? So that will kind of, one, you're looking up, which elevates as you look up, and the break state will happen by kind of trying to, think about, oh, what's my phone number backwards, and then go into your peripheral vision. And just try to see how it goes. Like I said, try it 10 times tomorrow and see how you feel, right? Beautiful. Okay. So I hope everyone feels a little bit more grounded and in their body. And what I'd like to do, with that being said, is a grounding meditation. And again, this is a really simple exercise that you can do. I like to do it. Lisa and I actually start our day. So I call her from Mexico every morning, and we start off with a grounding meditation. And it's just such a beautiful way to start your day, but it can also be used, again, if you're feeling ungrounded and disconnected. So if everyone would like to close their eyes for a moment. And let's do 3 deep breaths together. And we're going to do them in and out through our nose. So breath in and breath out. Breath in and breath out. And last breath in and breath out. And now, from the bottom of your feet, imagine growing roots deep down into the earth, like you're a beautiful tree. Imagine your most favorite tree. Grow roots, feeling connecting into earth energy. Take them deep and wide. That's right. And now, from the base of your spine, I want you to unfurl what I call your incarnation cord. And it's a beautiful silver white cord. And imagine it has a plug on it at the end of it. And you're going to take that cord and take it down, all the way down to the center of the earth, going through the bedrock. And as you get close to the center of the earth, imagine a multi-dimensional crystal at the center of the earth, and plug that cord into that crystal. And now, announce to your body that it's garbage day. And anything that no longer serves you, allow it to drain out through those roots into Mother Earth. And thanking Mother Earth for accepting that no longer serves us and transforming it. And now, through those roots and through that cord, bringing up beautiful grounding earth energy. Taking it up through your feet. And legs. Moving it up through your hips and abdominal cavity, feeling grounded and centered as that energy moves all the way up to the level of your heart. And now from above, imagine beautiful divine white light coming down through the top of your head. That's right. Moving it into your head. Allowing us to connect that the mind is for dreaming. Clearing and cleansing as it moves through the back of your eyes, in your ears. Going into what I call your jade pillow at the back of your head. Clearing it all out. Moving it down through your neck and arms. That's right. All the way down to your fingertips. And now taking this beautiful white light and filling up your heart. Connecting to your sense of divine self, your highest and best, who you really are. Filling your heart with white light. And now moving that white light down through your abdominal cavity, through your stomach and liver, cleansing and clearing as it moves through. Taking it down through your hips and legs, moving it all the way down to your feet. And now taking this white light out beyond your body, taking it out to at least 3 feet above your head, below your feet, pushing it out on either sides, creating what I call your energetic eggshell. And I like to put gold and silver on the outside of my eggshell for protection. And then bringing in whatever color resonates for you inside your eggshell. So color like yellow is beautiful for clarity. Maybe pink for self-love. So whatever color resonates for you at this moment in time, bring that into your eggshell. And now I'd like you to connect, and some of you may have guides and teachers, or what I call your team of light. It may be someone that's passed over, And just connect in to see if there's any messages for you. Perhaps someone sends you a sign or a symbol or feeling. So just take a moment right now and to connect in. And when you're ready, feeling your feet on the floor, coming back into the room, grounded and refreshed. Welcome back. So as I said, I love to do this first thing in the morning, but I also find that this is something that's, you can do it really, really quickly. You could be in transit on a bus, waiting in the line at the grocery store, and you just feel vulnerable or you feel ungrounded. Take a moment, imagine you're the tree, grow the roots, right? Bring up the energy quickly, bring white light down, expand it. And that way you can still feel out. And especially for those of us that are very energetically sensitive, you can still expand your energy and feel, but you don't get drained or by energy vampires, we'll call them, other people, by doing this, by putting your energy out there and then protecting it, you know, with the gold and silver. So yeah, I hope you all feel a little bit more grounded and centered. And I'm really excited because I'm going to pass it over to Shauna now. And we are really going to now embody the energy, and she's going to take us through some vocal and embodiment dance. So she'll unmute and I am going to spotlight Shauna. So I'm going to remove my spotlight and over to Shauna. Oops, there we go, spotlight. There we are.
Hello, beautiful people. Just can't really see anybody this way. So I want to drop in a little before we get into the movement and the vocal. I want to drop in just a little woo-woo on you for those who aren't super familiar. So we just finished a very powerful new moon on Friday, and into Saturday night, and it was also an end of it was a solar eclipse and an end of a cycle that started around end of May 2020 last year, and so it's kind of coming to completion. And there was a lot, if you think about like it was crazy time, still in the early stages of the pandemic. We had the uproar of race issues, a lot of injustice. And so you might think about a global scale, but even personally, what was kind of going on for you in your life? I know for me around the race stuff, there was things of recognizing of my own voice where I don't speak my truth, where I'm afraid to even speak when someone says something inappropriate and unloving, and my fear of stepping out, creating confrontation or being strong in that place. So this is time, now we've just ended this cycle, and it's symbolized by this, it's Sagittarius. It was a new moon in Sagittarius, which the symbol of Sagittarius is like that hunter that's pulling back the bow and arrow. And I've been in the field lately of talking about these, quantum leaps, a leap into something new. And we kind of start to feel that, or we're wanting it maybe at this time of year, the end of the year, to kind of shed maybe some really hard things that were heavy this year, and that may still be challenging. And We may be feeling quite squeezed, and that's why the holidays may not be so jolly, and maybe we're still separated from loved ones because of the pandemic. Maybe there's places of real grief of people that we've lost this year. Maybe we didn't get to all the goals that we wanted to, and we're feeling really stuck, or finances are not the great. Whatever it is, a lot of people I've noticed are feeling really squeezed. And I want to invite the opportunity to think like this is something that's ending. It's a cycle that's ending. And before that arrow gets to shoot off into a new direction and hit that bullseye of where we dream of going, it's got to be pulled back. And usually in that pulled back, there's some tightness, there's some constriction. And if we can just trust, and if we can also just kind of be in the energy of the squeeze and maybe help it along to loosen up so that the arrow is ready to go, so that we are ready to sail through this holiday season with more ease, that we're actually ready to enter into this new year, and whatever goals, whatever we're really wanting to bring to life, or whatever hardships of this year that we're ready to lay to rest, we can let that happen. So I'm going to take you through a movement and vocal practice. Totally encourage you, if you have the space to stand up, please do. It is actually very helpful to do that, to be really embodied and feel that. I just broke a glass, excuse me, while I fix some water on the floor. So I want to offer some, hold on a second, I'm just going to slip on the floor from a glass that I broke. Okay. So there's a vocal and movement practice that goes along with it that I learned from a singer-songwriter called Nessie Gomez. And it's really powerful. It's a chakra journey through movement and sound. And I'll explain a little bit later how you can actually use this when you're feeling sticky during the holidays, but also use it for a bit of fun and to really change the energy. So it starts with I'm not sure if you're familiar with the chakra root system. We go from root, which is actually sits, like where you would sit down, that place of where your bottom would meet the floor or the bed, the chair. That would be your root. Up into your womb is your sacral chakra. Right here is your solar plexus. It's your seat of power. We have your heart, the throat, your third eye, and the crown connected to the something more. So there's a little movement, and I'll walk you through this. We'll practice it a few times. I'll give you a little hint of how you can use this, and then we're going to actually do a little bit of dancing and movement so we can work this out and feel a little freedom in both our bodies, which will help the spirit be a little more loose with whatever you're holding right now and through this season. Okay, so the first is the root chakra. It's very connected. Lee brought us into that meditation of like really putting our roots down into the earth. So that is, think of roots. Your root chakra is putting roots down into the earth like a tree. So the sound is, it's like this really like, where you're just kind of melting through the soil deep down. And the movement can just be like getting down and feeling this like, solid feet on the ground. Like I'm solid here. My dog's gonna want to dance with me. I found out she likes to dance. Honey. The second is your sacral. The sound is ooh, right? So it makes sense. So how connected are you with your sacral center? You can move it around and really feel that ooh, it goes together, right? Like, so what's that movement in your body that is like ooh, and really allow that movement to come through, ooh. The third, the solar plexus, you might think of the sound is O, and you might think of it as no, which is probably a word you're going to need a lot around this holiday season for the empty party that you don't want to go to. So you can do a movement of like this, like you've got boundaries, and oh, it might also be like the warrior, but there's like a oh, right? There's a power in this. This is your solar plexus. It's the very center of your body. It's the seat of your power. Oh. Next is the heart. And that is the sound of ah. It's just that ah. Love. Oh, or you see a cute puppy, baby. Ah. Ah. Next, we move to the throat. Yes, my love. We move to the throat, and the sound is I. And when you even say that word, you say that out loud to yourself and where you are, you can really feel that land, the sound, the vibration of that I in your throat. Next is the third I, and that sound is A. And normally it's just kind of this like, aha, when you just know something, you're like, hey, I got it. Hey. Around this time with all this stress, there might need to be some shaking out of the head before you can get to that, hey, there I am. I know what to do here. So we'll play with a little movement of just kind of shaking the head out for that. Next, we get to the crown, and that is E. And it's just that place of freedom when you remember your love, you are divine, everything is okay, even though it's so messed up, because we're held by something so much bigger. And you can just be like, ee, and it's a really high sound, and just kind of reach your hands up to the sky and to connecting to whatever that is for you, God, spirit, whatever that is for you. So let's take it through, and we'll do a couple of rounds, and you can just do it in your own space. The sound is very helpful. That's the vibration from inside your body that is shaking things up. So when you're feeling that agitation, when the grief wave comes over you, when you're irritated over someone, if you have some resentments that come up for, past relationships that are unforgiven, whatever you feel, there's going to be, as we've already talked about tonight, like a physical feeling in the body, really noticing my heart's beating fast, what's happening in my body, what's happening in my system. And you can use these sounds to kind of break it up, a vibration that'll like, jiggle it up from the inside. And then the movement is something that the body's doing, and all helping energy of this emotion just move its way through, so you can come back to more center of you without being so triggered, without the amygdala being ignited by anxiety. You can come back to you to make the decisions that are right for you. So let's do this. We'll do it without music or anything. So we'll start with the root. The sound is A. A. Ready? Root. Ooh. Ooh. Solar plexus. Oh. Oh. Heart. Ah. Ah. Throat. I. Letting our expression go. The head, A, shake it out, whatever's stuck in your head, A. And finally, reaching to the sky, E. So, let's do that one more time. Following along. A. Ooh. Oh. Ah. Okay. Now you can have some fun with this. You can use this as a therapeutic tool for yourself when you're feeling grief and your heart's feeling so heavy. Just do the sounds and open your heart. If you're missing a love. You're alone and you're missing the feeling of someone loving you. You might, see someone cute at a party and feel yourself. Ooh, like have some fun with this. Allow this energy to help you, to assist you, help the movement. You can only use this for some fun. Say you get a gift of money. Money is attached to the root. So do a little dance with yourself, like, oh, I got some money. Have some fun. And in that, you'll also be working with the body and your own energy system to move through. Like it sounds really silly, but you're actually working with your body. And that takes you to pay attention. Oh, I've invited to another party I don't want to go. Oh, I can say no to this party now because I've come back to my power. Or celebrating, I said no, I'm not doing it. I honored myself. Do a little happy dance if you're like, oh, allow that all to be there. You can really use this. So we're going to do a fun some dance. If you want to get up and move your body. We've got some fun music. It's all holiday music, super fun. The very first song is very slow, and I want you to just allow your body, your heart, your mind to open. That's the point of this first song, is just to relax what feels restricted in your body. Whatever you came here thinking about, why this holiday season gives you anxiety, or why you're not as happy right this time of year as you wish you were, or whatever is moving through your system, commit to opening to it. And this first song will just be allowing us just free flow. This is all for your own intuitive movement. Allow yourself to stretch. Let your heart open, let your body open, just stretch out to receive what's here. The next song is super fun, and I'm going to take you without the sounds. I'm going to take you through the whole chakra moving dance. It works out perfectly with the music. It's super fun. And then the last two songs are just some freedom. The third song really invites you to get into your childlike spirit. And the last song, if we have time for it, which is totally fine if we don't, but if we do, it's really just kind of funky and like have some fun and let your bad self come out and really find your confidence to walk through this time as who you are, knowing how to control your emotions, knowing how to ground yourself when you need to, remembering how to have fun so it doesn't feel so heavy. Okay? All right, Laurena's going to set the music up for us.
And Shauna, as you do that, can you put your computer down a little bit so we can, because part of your head is, we can't see your face.
Oh, you
the other way.
So not down, up.
Sorry, up, yes.
It's hard to tell, honestly. Great.
Oh, that's much better. Beautiful.
Okay. Movement. Oh. Let your body.
Hark at the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and bold. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air.
Body.
Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, merry, merry Christmas.
Writing openness, feel yourself open, your arms open. Yes, everywhere. now that we've all finished, we're gonna have fun with that. So you can just follow me. We'll start doing up and down.
Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Start.
Feliz Navidad.
Rude.
Feliz Navidad.
Here we go.
Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, es Navidad. Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. I wanna
Yes.
wish you. Feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you.
Beautiful. Maybe we'll do, we're running out of time. Maybe we'll do just this one last song, just dance it out, have fun, be a child.
Snow is falling all around me. Children playing, having fun. It's the season of love and understanding. Merry Christmas, everyone. Time for parties and celebration. People dancing all night long. Time for presents and exchanging kisses. Time for singing Christmas songs. We're gonna have a party tonight. I'm gonna find the girl underneath the mistletoe. We're kissed by candlelight. Room swaying, records playing. All the songs we love to hear. All I wish that every day was Christmas. What a nice way to spend the year.
Take it out, whatever. Like, move it to the body.
Room swaying, records playing. All the songs we love to hear. All I wish that every day was Christmas. What a nice way
stop there. I had another one, but we'll stop there. And I want to encourage, when you're feeling a trigger, stressed, move, as Laurena said, move, put on your favorite music, be silly. It's really just a lot of energy that needs to be moved through. And understand that whatever you're being squeezed in right now, whatever's been squeezing you maybe all this year for the past 2 years or even longer, realize you just might be in that arrow, ready to go, ding, shoot out into the next everything you're looking for or wanting to be or know who you are. So I want to take a moment. We'll take just a few minutes. If you have your little journal handy, and we'll take just 3 minutes. We want to have some time for shares and socializing, or we're getting through our time super fast. So take 3 minutes if you have your journal and contemplate this question without any editing. You can first, we'll actually focus just on the positive. Where do you feel you are getting ready to be shot into? What is coming for you? Even though you might be squeezed, and maybe it's because of what squeeze you are in that you can see, I am being primed up for this. I'm working through this heaviness because it's teaching me this, because it's preparing me for this. Where can you see your arrow is getting ready to catapult you to? What new goals do you know are in your reach? What new dreams are you claiming are yours? So easy to get focused in on the squeeze, on where we're feeling pinched and triggered, and where we're unhappy, where it feels heavy, where it feels too much, overwhelmed. And of course, it's all happening at the same time. There's also beauty. There's also a lot of love and connection. There's possibility, there's hope. So can we, in the midst of holding our anxiety or whatever is thick in this time, can we see where we're being prepped for, where we are in the journey? Because we're never stuck, it's always moving. Take one more minute. Okay, we're gonna break a bit. I'll check with Lee to see what the interim is. I think we're gonna do a little break if you want to get a drink, and we'll come back and do some little sharing and socializing together. But I just want to leave you with that. May seem like a really, as all of these were, seems like very simple practices and simple things to do, but they actually can have really big impact. And it can take, 30 seconds to, shake out your body or like feel something, even if it's something heavy, if you're feeling your heart really heavy, just to be just the sound and the movement can help shift so much. So I hope these and use them as something fun, a little inside joke even for yourself. Like it's always there for you. And I hope it really helps you during this season.